Hello, family. It's weekly video time. So again, we continue to talk about. I know I'll probably talk about Tom Blue and the faith, right? Faith, right? But we continue to talk about the mission and purpose of the church, what we're really all about here at St. Patrick's, from my perspective, from my vision, that is hopefully coming from the Holy Spirit and not from me. Most definitely of that, because if it were my choice would be maybe different or not at all, maybe, because I just don't have the energy, but the Holy Spirit gives me the energy. Anyway, so I thought today is the feast of the conversion of St. Paul. So it's a really good time to talk about discipleship and commissioning and going out, and kind of sharing the gospel, because the readings today kind of allude to that. And so like in the first reading is the conversion of St. Paul, but there's a great line in there from St. Paul to the Lord, and he says, what shall I do, right? What shall I do, sir? He calls Jesus sir. I like that, probably because military background, but what shall I do? And so, he's asking the Lord, what shall I do? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to be about? And then in the gospel reading, we have St. Mark's commissioning of the 12, right, or for the 11, right before the ascension into heaven. And so both these readings kind of give us a sense of, how, and I said this in the homily this morning at Mass, what are we doing to grow the kingdom? What are we doing to grow our church, to grow our church family? And so, some things we need to ask ourselves, think deeply about, what is the purpose of our church? Why are we here? Why do we do what we do? I mean, is it a selfish purpose, or is it a to love others kind of purpose? And we need to as a parish, we need to figure that out and be focused on it, right? So I want to say 75-25, right? Maybe 60-40, that, 60% of our energy should be focused on growing the church, of introducing people to Jesus and together fully following him, right? That's our mission. We should be focused on that. The other 40%, we should be focused on, our discipleship, strengthening those who are in the church with us, like connecting with our brothers and sisters and building relationships and bonds spiritually to support each other, help each other grow in the faith, so that we can do the 60%, which is to go out and grow our church, to introduce the community to Jesus and, kind of bring them to the fold. I joke around at Sunday Mass sometimes, and I sometimes say, our church isn't a private club. Mass isn't a private club that you need a pass or an ID to get into. You can invite anyone to Mass and let them experience what our faith is all about. They can't fully participate, but they can participate in the praise and worship of our God, and see how we do and why we do what we do. I mean, if you really listen to the words of the Mass, I would think that you would figure out why we do what we do through the words of the prayers and things said at Mass. And so, when I say, and you ask me, how do we grow the church? Well, how do what do I do? And I say, I don't know, we've been advertising it and posting it everywhere for a really long time. Since I've been here, we've been kind of sharing the mission and purpose of the church, and how you as a parishioner can get involved in that mission and purpose. It kind of, pops around wherever you see. I think there's banners, the plastic cards at the back of the church. There's, the pamphlet Father Bender wrote. It's on our website. We kind of promote it on our social media. So, you just kind of have to figure out how we do what we do and why we do what we do. And I feel like we communicate that fairly well through, website and bulletin and signs and banners and cards and all kinds of things. Father teaches about it, tries to talk about it every Thursday or every Friday in this video. He tries to preach about it as much as he can from the altar, either weekday or Sunday Masses. But, church, we need to get about it. We really do. Are you listening? Are you listening? Because we need to get about it. We need to get about it and get about it. Like we got empty pews and we need to fill them because we need to fill them. So invite your neighbors, friends, talk about your faith. Talk about why you do what you do on a Sunday. Like, why do you do that? I mean, I hope it's to grow closer to Jesus, to grow closer to God, right? To receive communion, which gives you the strength to go out and, do the mission and purpose of the church. I'm going to pop this up like a million times during the talk so you can get the idea. Like, this is what we are all about and what we need to be about as a church. If we want our church to survive and last and grow, then if I want a job in 10 years, I'd really love a job in 10 years or 20 years. Like, we need to be about growing the church. We need to be about sharing the faith with our children, with our neighbors, with our families, with our friends, in a loving and earnestly, like, sincere, real way. Like, if we expect our children to follow the faith the way we do, then we need to do it right. We need to do it right. And so, like, I encourage you, like, just like Paul and the apostles, right? We should be constantly asking the question, what shall I do, Lord? What shall I do, sir? Like, what do you want me to be about? What do you want me to be about in my faith? And, I can't accept no for an, like, no, I can't do that. No, that's too much. I'm not that religious. I can't do that. There's something you can do. Something. Acting a right way, speaking a right way, expressing love in the right way, picking one of these things on here, maybe for Lent, it's coming up, not too far away. You take one of these things that you're not very good at and say, I'm going to work on serving because I don't do that very well in the church. And I want to help the church, look like it's a place where people want to come and hang out. And so I'm going to help serve the church. Or I'm going to start talking about Jesus in my daily life because part of my job is to introduce people to the one I love, to Jesus. And so I'm going to do that. So we need to find ways to grow the church. Prayer, connect, gather, all those things. Well, there's something out there that we can do. And I was, we've all been in that spot, or we currently are, where we're like, I'm not really that religious. I'm not that Catholic. I'm not going to do those things. Well, if everyone thought like that, then, we wouldn't have a church much longer. But people, we need to grow the church. What do we need to do? Grow the church. And the only way to do that is to spread the gospel, just like Jesus said, right, in the reading today. We need to spread the gospel, the love, right? We need to show what love is, and what love is Christ. And we need to do that in the best way we can, in any way we can. We need to find ways to grow the church and to be a bigger family. Like, I love to say that we need to build a new church because we don't fit in the one we have right now. But that's not the truth. We do fit in the one we have now. In fact, we have lots of spaces for new people to come and fit in the church we have now. And so we got, not that I, am looking to build a new church, but it would be a great thing to say, look, we've outgrown the space we have, and we need to find a way to, whether it's adding masses or making a new building, we're growing the church in such a rapid way that we need to find out how to accommodate that many more people. Would that be great? That would be so great. So again, right? Find a way to help grow the church. You can do it. I know you can. I love you. And I know you got the spirit to do it. This is St. Patrick's in Carl. We do everything awesome, and we love our faith, and we want it to grow. And so find a way to get out there and do what you need to do to grow the faith. God bless. I love you all. Have a great week.